Hello, today I want to do an experiment. So I have these Shimano Bottom brackets. Two of them have some movement on the spindle, and typically when they uh, have some kind of play on them, you have to throw them away because they're sealed and you can't remove the ball bearings or grease them up, unlike the older bottom brackets. And I feel that's a bit of a shame, especially for this UN 72. But I also have a UN 52, which I'd like to attempt to remove. So on the UN 72, we can move both of these cups, kind of anyway. On this one here, this is another UN 72, where the cup has been removed. However, on the UN 52, you can only remove one side and not the other side, which is the drivetrain side. On the UN 72, you'll see that there's this type of ridges that stops you being able to remove one side of the cups. We might have a few issues trying to open these up. This cup here is made from aluminium, so by trying to remove it, we might damage it and might not be able to actually put it back on. And we have this metal ring which looks like some steel, and that might be quite hard as well to take off. RJ the bike guy did a video recently on this type of subject, and his bottom bracket had these type of they had sealed cartridge bearings which were on both sides and could actually be removed. That's ideal, but unfortunately the Shimano sealed ones don't have that. Let's start off with the easiest one. So on one side there's this ring that can be removed. Next I'm going to try and knock this out, so I'm going to gently tap it with a hammer going around, and hopefully that will fall out. I'm going to try and attempt to remove now this ring. I'm going to use the same method and see maybe it'll work. Okay, that's not working. Next attempt, I figured maybe if I vice just that ring and then hit this downwards, maybe that will knock it out. Probably shouldn't smack on that top bit. Yeah, that's not working. I can't even imagine putting it back on. So now I'm just lifting up this cap, see what's behind it. Guessing it's the ball bearings, but I'm honestly not sure. I think it is though. Yeah. No, it's not. Probably could have done this with a Dremel. At least it's come off though. Oh yeah, that second bit of plastic that I removed on the other side, well, it's on the same on this side. It's actually the part that keeps the bearings in place. Right, now we've got access to both the ball bearings. Next thing is how on earth do they get this spindle in? So I can see there's a lot more movement and play now. However, it's obviously stuck. I'm going to attempt to try and figure out how they did this. I've put both of the ball bearings though in a U shape on each end to give the maximum amount of space, and I really don't know how to get this back on or take it out, sorry. My only guess is to smack it with a hammer. That's what I've just done. And if you smack it with a hammer, once you've got them both in the same place in a U shape, it actually comes off very easily. So what can we surmise from this so far? We'll use a Dremel to avoid damaging the spindle, although I've just missed the part where the crank goes on, so there's potential that it will still work. Also for the, not this one, sorry, the UN 52, it looks like this one it would be a lot harder because we don't have access to this end to open it up. So it means we only have one end, and there it becomes potentially possible still, because we'll do the same procedure, putting the ball bearings on one side, tapping it down. However, putting it back together again, I just don't see how that will be plausible. I've just opened it up just to confirm. So it's got the same amount of ball bearings, same thing. Even if I manage to force this off, so take that, remove one end, and then that way I can pull out the other side. My only issue is going to be really how to get that back in. For the UN 72, it seems still plausible. I haven't tried it yet, but this one I'm not sure. So now I'm going to do this all in reverse. I'm going to put the spindle in, lay it down to the bottom part of the I don't know what this is called, barrel shaped part of the bottom bracket, and I'm going to try and push the bearings in. I don't know how I'm going to get the last one in, but we'll find out and see. I managed to figure out how to get that back in. You need to put 5 on each side, so I'm going to do that now. Once you've done that, you want to make sure they're in a like a U shape and parallel to each other, like that. Once you've done that, put the spindle through. On the left side will be where there's the numbering or the sizing of the spindle itself. It should be stamped on there. So now I've put that in this position, and you can put the 6th ball bearing in. There's 7, by the way, in total on each end. And here I'm just putting in the other one on the other side. And you'll notice now that it's a bit hard to get the 7th one in, and this is the trick I figured out. To get the 7th ball bearing in, you need to separate the ball bearings and put 3 on the right, 3 on the left, and then lift up the spindle, and you'll have a gap to put the 7th one in. Once you've got them all in, and it did take me a couple of attempts if I'm honest, I gently started spinning around to try and get the ball bearings to even out along the spindle. Do that carefully because the spindle could suddenly drop. And eventually, yeah, they even out, and then you can actually move them, and the spindle won't just suddenly fall out anymore. So the next thing is to kind of put that cage that was holding the ball bearings. We're going to even these out, and we're going to attempt to get the cage back in. So now I've got them all roughly even. Hopefully you've put a bit more grease than I did, and new ball bearings. So I'm not going to be reusing this because I actually need the cup. So there's the cage, and I'm going to try and press it in, I guess. And looks like it's worked. Got them all in. Now on the other side. Let's put now the type of seal back on. And then on each end you have these type of rings that will pressed on. See if I can get the back on. Yeah, I think I will be able to. On one end the ring was a little bit tighter, so I used just any old ring that will fit over this perfectly, and I then used this tool for removing cassettes that went over it, a little bit like a crown race, I guess. And I just found out, don't put those little rings actually too tightly down, because it turns out that's actually going to block the bottom bracket, so yeah, don't do that. You kind of just want to fraction off the a little bit higher than the black seal there. Anyway, that's the end of the how-to. It's actually feeling quite nice. I'm sure if I'd put new ball bearings, this would probably work again. So anyway, thank you for listening, and I hope this helped you somehow service your sealed cartridge unit. Until next time, peace out.